A conversation about money made me cry. You may think this video title is completely a joke, and in a way it is. It is comedic. My life is comedic. We'll admit that. And also, it's totally not a joke. A conversation about money did sincerely make me cry. Now, you may already be laughing at me and like, girl, how? Girl, why? Let me explain. I've recently been in a course which is somewhat centered around money and business, that sort of stuff. And interestingly, one day, we were having a conversation about money. And this mentor was sharing, can you imagine what it would be like if you were sat down in a room with money right now? Now, if you're someone who, like me, at one point or other struggled with lack mentality or still continue to struggle with lack mentality, then you'll perhaps understand where I'm coming from here. What this mentor was talking about was, what if you were sat across from money? Money was literally inhabiting the chair next to you, across from you, and you could have a conversation with money. Firstly, what do you think money would be saying? Secondly, what do you think the money would be looking like? Like, meaning, do you think that they would be having a pleasant expression on their face? Do you think they'd have an unhappy expression? They'd be angry? What do you think? You know, what is money's demeanor going to be if you were to embody money and put it in the chair across from you? How do you think that money would react and respond and be with you? What is your relationship with money? And what's really interesting about that is that for some reason, for me that day that she was explaining this process of like allowing yourself to envision money embodied sitting across from you and the demeanor, the way of being that money would be if it was a person embodied, really shook me. And again, I started this off kind of laughing about it because I thought it was funny because I genuinely started to cry. Because what she was explaining is that she was very, very good at this, I might add. She was very viscerally explaining essentially the way that I have spoken to money, or that people speak to money, speak about money, speak to money, speak with money. You know, the things that we say are actually honestly quite harsh a lot of the time. And what her point basically was, look, if your friend was like saying to you these things all the time, oh man, I really need, you know, Emily to show up, like she's late all the time, or like, oh God, she's really, you know, you guys can feel that energy. It's like impatience and it's frustration and it's not pleasant. Whereas on the other hand, let's pretend that your friend is looking forward to you coming over. Then your friend rings the doorbell and you're like, like so-and-so, it's so good to see you. Oh my goodness, I was looking forward to you. Thank goodness you're here. Da, da, da. Do you guys feel the difference in those two energies? The first one is like, grumble, like frustration, you know, constriction, just like gross energy, honestly. And I could see why money wouldn't want to play with us. And on the other hand, if you're like, money, like, I am so glad I have money. Thank you, money. Oh, money, like the things that really, and I know it sounds like verbally, to be like conversating with money in that way can at first feel a little ridiculous. I promise you, I also felt very silly having this conversation with money myself. And I will also share with you, and that is why this video came about, that it made me cry. Because what I realized was, and you guys will know because I've recently been talking about this, perhaps even in the last video, that my self-talk used to be really, really critical. So what does that mean? That means that lo and behold, the conversation that I was having with money, the mental vibration that I was carrying with money was actually, unbeknownst to me at that time, was really, 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 really negative, and was more of this constant pressure, this like, why are you so late? Like, you know, I've been waiting for you forever. God, it's about time you got here. You know, all of this like, ugh. And the minute that someone said to me like, well, what do you imagine it would be like if you were receiving, like if you were on the other side of that? Do you know what I mean? If you were money and you were hearing all this that you're saying to money and expressing to money or feeling, you know, would you feel good? It's like, no wonder money doesn't want to come to you, because it's like, oh my God, I'm going to get talked crap and I'm going to, you know, have to deal with all this angry energy and all this stuff and this frustration, and be like, it's not, you know, a vibe that money wants to walk into. So as silly as it is, and as goofy as it may be, that I did indeed get moved to the point, because look, the mentor was so good at articulating this very real dialogue that one may have with money, that I got emotional, because I realized that I've really, for most of my life, and I don't say this lightly or easily, I have had this very harsh, demanding, expectative, is that a word? Way of money. Like, oh, well, I just, almost an entitled way, as weird as that is, because actually in my soul, I was feeling like the least entitled. Like I used to joke with my family about how I wish things could just be on the barter system, because for me, that felt so much better than like hashing out money things. My internal and probably external dialogue with money was really negative. And so the big point I want to make here, and the reason I titled it the comical comedy of the fact that a conversation with money made me cry, is because one, it genuinely did. And if I can find that picture from my phone, I will plop it in here. Because I snapped a picture simply to prove that I was sat at my computer bawling from this conversation. And what's funnier still about it, if you guys really want to get a laugh at yours truly, is that this was not even like a live thing. This was actually a course. So this is a pre-recorded video, which, side note to the side note, if you have ever had a doubt, or if you ever wanted to create a course and you've ever hesitated about creating a piece of material that you know would help somebody, I highly urge you to just put it out there, because I don't think that this woman who made this video, whenever she made it, I don't think that she was necessarily expecting to particularly affect me and bring me to tears with this conversation. And yet the conversation, recorded for all I know 5, 10, 15 years ago, I mean, it wasn't, but that's the point, doesn't it matter, still was so poignant and effective and had such a massive shift, which is why I'm always telling you guys to go out there and create the things you're here to create, because you are quite literally the only one who can. And had it not been this particular mentor, Melissa, I don't think I would have had the real money shift of, oh, holy crap, no wonder, because I am giving off this really unpleasant vibe. Like, I don't even give that to my friends. Like, I would never treat my friends the way I'm treating money, and no wonder. So hopefully this has shed some light perhaps on the ways in which you interact and work with money, talk to money, speak about money, and I'd highly invite you to be loving and grateful for money. So perhaps, for example, something that you can say, I like this one a lot, I borrowed this from a friend, something that my friend likes to say when they go out and they spend money, for example, on food, every dollar I spend comes back to me times 10. I love that. So when I'm out there buying my healthy produce, like buying my apple, every dollar I spend comes back to me times 10, and I know that I'll have more apples, more money, you know what I mean? It's all of the good things compound. How you treat others, and even if those others are not necessarily people, it all matters. How we are with interacting with the world is, as I said in whatever video it was, and as Nikola Tesla has said, is all based upon energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's really all it is. So if you are giving off a welcoming, loving, good energy, vibration, and frequency, then that is what you will see reflected to you. So this has been a slightly long-winded version of this. I hope that I hit the nail on the head at some point or other, and then you understand that money is potent, and that your relationship with money can actually have a lot more to do with the amount of money and the abundance you have in your life than you might have thought. So if this video has helped you, please do share it with anyone you think it might also help. Subscribe, as it does truly help out a small content creator like myself to get the message out there, especially to those who need to hear the money messages and other spiritual messages. And last but not least, if you, my beautiful spirit soul, do need any help along your journey, please feel free to reach out at this email address here. It's always in the description box below, which I always seem to forget, but it's down there too. And I would be more than happy to serve you in whatever way I can. So without any further ado, have a blessed, beautiful rest of your week. Namaste, much love, and I will see you cats in the next video. Bye. Take care. Anyway, the point is, generally expectative, is that a word? Girl, how? Girl, why? Oh, holy crap, no wonder. If you are giving off a welcoming, loving, good energy, vibration, and frequency, then that is what you will see reflected to you. Buttercup.